Hi, this is the module Notifications within DataMiner Fundamentals. It's the last module within DataMiner Fundamentals, so let's have a quick look again on what we have been discovering so far within Fundamentals. So we started off with a general DataMiner introduction. What is DataMiner? What are the concepts? We went to dataminer.services to deploy a brand new DataMiner system in the cloud, a DaaS system, DataMiner as a service. And then we got connected to that system and also to our training system. We also had seen we got connected with the HTML5 interface with DataMiner Cube. We got a little bit acquainted with DataMiner Cube, the surveyor, how to open up cards, multiple cards. So we were getting a little bit familiar with those things. And then we dived into a little bit more details of an element itself, what kind of data we can expect there, what kind of controls we can expect there, the documents that were associated with it as well. And we dived even into a parameter, into the performance data, how that evolved over time. Those trend graphs add that extra perspective to it. And then we went to the element enhancements, which is basically adding more like a graphical presentation on top of it. But we also combined elements together into views and services, adding that additional layer and bringing everything together in a DataMiner system. And of course, alarms, very important module. We took quite some time to take a look at those features there. We had a lot of things to cover there. And then we looked at the dashboards and low-code apps in the previous one, which adds a little bit more a graphical way of showing us the information of a DataMiner system, with the low-code apps really making it tailored to a specific audience, to take the bits and pieces that you want, put it together into a small dashboard or a larger low-code app. And now the final thing we want to cover is notifications. So as the word says, we want to be notified when something happens. So that's what this is going to be about. But it's a little bit more than just email notifications or SMS or text notifications. It's also other ways that I want to be notified when something is happening. Basically, it's everything where I'm not connected all the time with the UI or with the web interface or the DataMiner Cube application. I want to have email notifications or maybe scheduled reports every morning to know what the status is. Or we also have something called an alerter to give me some notifications real time. And we also have the Teams bot integration, the chat ops as we call it. Let's take a look at those things, and starting off with the easiest and most straightforward one, I think, is just email notifications. Just send me an email whenever something happens. So how do I configure that? Well, very easy. You just go to your user account there, your user icon. You click on there, you go to account details, and in the pop-up of your account details, you have an alerts tab. That's where you can configure your alerts by clicking on the edit and start configuring your alerts there. Typically, I will not just send out everything, but I want to filter that. We saw how to filter alarms in the alarm console. The same filters are going to be available here. So I can reuse the same filters, or I can create new ones that I can also then leverage in the alarm console. But it's the same filter editor, you could say. So I will typically define a filter and then define how it needs to be notified. So that's how I configure it. If I click on the edit, I'll immediately do it in an example. If I click on the edit, you have the possibility to create a new filter or to add an existing filter by using the right-click menu. So I right-click on the filter section, add an existing one or create a new one. If you create a new one, you have the same filter editor as in the alarm console. And you select the delivery type. We're just going to go for email. The alerter tool, I'll come back to that in the next section. And text messaging, SMS, is available when you have a mobile phone attached to your DataMiner system, which is not the case here, but it's the same principle. Instead of an email, it's a text message. Note there is some alarm storm prevention possibilities there to say like, okay, whenever there are X amount of alarms happening in 5 minutes, for instance, stop sending me more emails, because if an alarm storm happens and 1,000 alarms happen, I don't want to receive 1,000 emails. So I want to put some cap on that. That is possible with the alarm store. Now, let's take a look at that in a small example. So let's pop up our DataMiner cube. So I'm going to be connecting, or I'm connected here to the training system again. And we have here a notifications element, again, the same element that we have been using before, with an audio output level and a left test level and things like that. I want to be notified if something is happening with that specific element, or within that view, you could say, whenever a critical alarm happens there. So how do I configure that? Well, you go to your user account, you go to, or your user menu, you click on account details on the upper right hand side, account details, and that gives me that pop-up with all the details of my account. Well, before I go to the alerts tab, make sure in the details that you have your email address specified there. If your email address is not specified there, it won't be able to send you emails, of course. So therefore, you might need to go and click on the edit. So that's on the right hand side. You can click on edit, and then you can specify your email address in there, and then you can apply that if you have changed it. So make sure you specify your email address there. Next thing I can do is I can go to, then whenever I specify my email address, I can go to alerts, and you can see there are by default no alerts specified, of course. I want to create a new one. So how can I create a new filter item in there? Well, that's by right clicking there and adding a new one there. But if I click, nothing happens. That is because I'm just in viewing mode. So be careful, this might be confusing at certain times. You first need to click on the edit. Whenever you click on the edit, now you can right click in there and you can add a filter. So there are two ways of doing this. You can add an existing filter, which we have been using before, like the Roam criticals. I believe I created that one during the example, or I can just create a brand new one in here. And let's do it that one, because I want to just practice the alarm filtering again. So that's my notifications, the notifications criticals. So within the notifications view, the critical items. So I'm going to go and go for a little bit up severity again, severity critical. That's what I want to be notified of, and not of everything, not of the complete system. So let me just add a view filter in there, which is going to be containing this notifications view. We have the 08 notifications view. You can see it at in the header bar as well. It's still open there under, my element is located in that 08 notifications view. So I select that one. So everything that is critical within my notifications view will be matching this filter. So I OK this. So now I created this filter. Note you can still edit this filter also by right clicking on there and going back to the editing. What I forgot to mention is that it's a private filter that I created, but not that important now. Okay, so I have my filter, and now I still need to specify how it needs to be delivered whenever this filter matches. And the alerter tool is coming up later. The email, I want to receive an email, of course, and text messaging is also an option if you have the text or the cell phone, the mobile gateway option to your DataMiner system attached. Okay, let's apply that. And if you apply that, and yeah, that's okay. That's, yeah. Here, if I go back to editing, you can see now the checkbox is enabled again. If you go out of editing, it's no longer visible. Okay, so let's play around with that, and let's just generate a left test level alarm in this case. And So the alarm is being generated here at the bottom, so we can see that, and I do receive my email notification. Let me show it over here. So I can see this is coming from noreply.dataminer.services to Bert, and it was just matching this alarm that was happening on the left test level -99 critical low. So this alarm immediately is in my inbox. So that's how simple it is. You can simply go to your user account to verify your email notifications there. So I created a new filter and I configured it and I tested it out and it's working perfectly. The result is also indicated here in the slides. That's what I've been playing with. Okay, so that was the first notification we had. A second notification, it's not really a notification whenever something is happening. It's more scheduled, as it says here, because sometimes, yeah, I don't want to go into the DataMiner system every morning to load the certain things that I wanted to verify. I just want it to be received in my mailbox. So every morning when I arrive in the office, I can just see, oh, the email is there, and take a look at the report and then say like, okay, it's still good. Let's go for it. So scheduled report, let's take a look at how to configure that. We need to do that in our scheduler app. So we have in DataMiner Cube, underneath apps, we do have the scheduler app there. So we need to go to apps scheduler, and then we have the list of scheduled tasks. And there we will create immediately in a demo a new scheduled task, which is going to run daily. And that's how we do it. We click on the add. I'll immediately do it in the demo. We click on the add, we give it a name, and then we choose on the next page, we choose that it's a daily one at 8 o'clock, for instance, and then we choose what needs to be sent out. And that's going to be a report or a dashboard that we will configure in there. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So I go to apps, and then I go to our scheduler. So within the scheduler, it opens up on the timeline, but we're not interested in that. We need to go to the list view. So we have a list of scheduled tasks that are already in my system. Some are active, some are not active. The timeline is just showing you when those things are being executed. Like the bad demo restart thing there is happening on a regular basis on this timeline. And you can, of course, zoom out and zoom in and things like that. But that's not really what we want to look at now. So whatever is in there, I don't really worry about it. I'm just going to add a brand new by clicking on the add on the lower right-hand side. So I click on the add and it gives me this wizard where I can start adding this daily report that I want to send. So I give it a name. And then I go to next, which is basically the next tab page. There you can go for different schedules, maybe every first of the month, or maybe every Monday morning. I can just go for a daily, for instance. And every morning at 8 o'clock, I want the email to be sent out. So every day at 8 o'clock, just once a day. It's going to do that every day, yes, and it starts now, and you could also potentially say, oh, maybe the first of the next month, and it needs to stop at the end of the next month as well. So you have some customization of the start and the end time you can do. Let's keep it simple, daily, 8 o'clock, next. Let's go for the actions that I want to do. There are multiple actions I can add in here, but I'm just interested in an email. You could also add, for instance, a schedule for an automation script to do certain actions in your system on a regular basis. But we are here looking at email notifications, and in this case, a scheduled report. So I want to send that to, you can just type in any email address. Also an external contact can be added in here. So you can just type in the email address itself, bert@skyline.be, the short version of my email address. Or you can click on the to and choose any of the existing users of your system and just double click, put it in the to field, and that then Bert VDB is in there with my full email. So it's actually twice now in there. Not really needed, so let's just remove it again. Subject, daily report. And the message, well, actually, it's just going to be including a report. And in here, I can select any of the existing reports that I have. The dashboard that I created just before was on my BERT system. So I do have here the data center summary dashboard, which is a little bit similar, just showing me a CPU load, the trend graph of the Microsoft server. Okay, so that's what I want to add in there. And then I want to be, I need to be able to configure this. Why can't I configure this now? Okay, let's go back and forwards. Yes. So I need to be able to configure this dashboard, the little trick there, going back and forwards in the wizard. And the configure allows me to configure this dashboard because sometimes a dashboard needs certain input. If you, for instance, have multiple Microsoft servers, potentially you need to select the Microsoft server if it's 01 or 02, or maybe a view needs to be selected, or certain feeds might need to be selected. Or another thing is that I have certain options. For instance, if the logo of my DataMiner system and the DataMiner system information is added at the top, these kind of things are in here. And you can see it's just a Microsoft server, total process load, trend graph. It's a very simple one, as the one like we created before. I'm happy with the default options, and there is no further configuration on this dashboard, so it's a simple one. Save, and that's okay. I just specified email address, title, and I selected my dashboard. Configuration was actually just fine and okay. There's no further next, so I can just okay this. And now every morning at 8 o'clock, I will receive an email with this report. Of course, I do want to check it out. So the next runtime will be tomorrow. Has never ran. So let me just right click and do an execute now. A quick trick to force it now. You will see that the task will go into currently running. There it is. So you can see this task is currently running now. So it's going to create that dashboard, going to put it in a PDF and send it over via email. So it might take a second before this will arrive, but I will show it in just a minute or a second whenever it happens. So you see it's still currently running. And then the result, not sure if the result is in here. No, the result is not in here. So we're going to be waiting for our result in just a minute there. Now it completed successfully. You can also in the information events see that there was a manual execution. So there is indeed something running. And in the meantime, there email is arriving with that that daily report title that I gave it, and I do have that PDF that is attached to it with that trend graph and that real-time information. The header was added in there with this is the logo of our DataMiner system, by the way. That's something you can find in System Center on the agents page system. This logo, you can change this logo. This is just the logo that we added to this test DataMiner system. So typically this would be your logo of your company. Okay, so that's how I can also have scheduled emails sent out to me with some nice reports of how my DataMiner system or how my system has behaved in the last 24 hours or week or whatever you add on the dashboard. Now, Alerter, I'm not going to spend too much time on Alerter because this is an older module or an older application, but it's still possible to install it, and it is still useful in certain cases. So therefore, I want to mention it. What is it? It's a small application you can install into your system tray of your computer. And I actually have it installed on my computer. Before I show it, let me just show you that the where you can find the application. So if you go to dataminer.services and you have I'm in Skyline Academy, my training system, the demo. If you go to the homepage of that one, or your DataMiner system, or your DAS that you have been spinning up, you do find on the upper right-hand side the possibility to install DataMiner Cube. But if you click on there, next to the desktop application, you have some other install options. Be aware, it's not on the DataMiner.services homepage, because that's only the desktop application which is in there. You need to really go to the homepage of one specific DataMiner system. And there you will have other install options. And if you go to other install options, you will find over here the Skyline Alerter and the MSI installer you can download for the MSI installer. So you can just download that installer, and if you download that installer, it will install this small application, and it will add that into your system tray. I'll move the video to the other side, because there you can actually see that this application has already been installed to my DataMiner or on my computer here. So it means whenever I start my computer in the morning and I log in, it will automatically make that connection to my DataMiner system. So you can see in the tooltip it is currently connected to the DataMiner system. And whenever something, so without me having Cube open, this is already connecting. And whenever an alarm happens, which is of interest, again, matching the filter that I will configure, it will show me a balloon. The balloon as indicated in the slides here, that's the small balloon that we have here. I'll show that now in a demo as well. So, let's take a look at that. You can right click on there to open it, or double click to open it. It's a small application. I already configured it to be connected with my system, but in the first, when you first start it up, you need to connect to your DataMiner system, specify the URL and the username and the password, and then it connects and shows all the incoming alarms. It's like whatever change, all the changes passing by. And some of them will be notified, some of them won't be notified. All of this is not notified, it's things passing by. So let's take a look at the settings and how you can configure that to show balloons. So in the upper right-hand side of this tool, I can go to settings. So you can see it automatically starts when Windows starts, and there is an automatic login configured. I've added already the connection in there. Let's verify. It's indeed connecting to my demo Skyline Academy on DataMiner.services system. So the one that I have been using all the time already. And then I have the possibility to define a filter on which balloons that I want to see. By default, it doesn't show any balloons. So maybe I say, oh, show me the criticals. I can also use client-side filtering or server-side filtering to say like, okay, those notification criticals filter that I just created, I want to use that filter so that only criticals within that notifications view are being shown. So that's a more advanced filter, but be aware the client-side filter, you need to enable those checkboxes as well. Otherwise, you won't see any balloons for those severities. So if I would just enable all of them, basically I don't do any filtering here, but I still do a filter here in that notifications criticals filter. So it's going to show me the criticals and all the others, but here it's going to show me the criticals only of the notifications view, which is perfectly fine. So let's open up DataMiner Cube once more, and let's simulate that alarm, or generate an alarm again in our notifications view. Let's now do the right test level, for instance. Yes. So what will happen is you can see here on the lower right hand side there is a balloon popping up. It says like the chat notification right test level -93 with the time there. I can immediately take ownership, or I can just dismiss it, or I can also click on it to open it up in the web interface. So even if my DataMiner Cube would not be open, this little tool would still be installed. So if I'm working on something else, I don't have Cube opened yet in the morning, this will automatically be connecting and warning me of any notification there. One last thing I want to mention is that, so I defined the filter. There is also some settings on the balloon there that it automatically hides or not. And you can enable a sound. So you can actually combine that by right-clicking here, going to add, and add a new sound for that notifications critical. For instance, I can go to a something like, for instance, the C Windows directory, and there we have the media directory, which I indicated before, that has some audio things like this one, for instance. So you can find some audio files there. So if I apply that, and if I generate another alarm, so let's, oh no, that was on 0 that it needs to be. And then let me in the meantime give a little bit of volume there. Let's generate another alarm. There you go. So it's also combined with some audio. So that's how you can basically have an audible alarm without DataMiner Cube. So you do have that in DataMiner Cube as well. We have seen that that you can create here an audible alert as well. Over there it was. So you can also have that in that small alerter app. And I believe that was the last setting. Yeah, the balloon settings, what is being shown in there. If the property gold, silver, bronze needs to be added in there in the balloon, that's also possible, and some options on acknowledging. So I think the most important features I have been discovering here. Okay, so that brings me back to my slide. So that was just a small side note on that alerter tool and how to configure it. The final thing that I want to mention is the Teams bot. So we can do some chat ops, and we can have a bot in Teams to actually talk to DataMiner and do certain actions there. Let's take a look at the features we have around that. So how can I do that? Well, in Teams, you can go to apps, and there you can search for DataMiner, and then you will find the DataMiner app. So this one you can add to your Teams. Whenever you add this, you have the possibility to take a look at the help with which kind of actions you can run in there. And that's, let me put my video on the other side in the meantime again. So, and that's what I will do also in a small demo. And then I will also take a look at how to do some notifications, because I can also have some notifications if you take it to the next step. So let's take a look at that. So I will go to my Teams, and I will go to, I already have the DataMiner app installed, but if you don't have it installed yet, you go to apps, you search for DataMiner, and you will find the DataMiner app there, and you can open it up, and you can install. It will have something there like install or something like that. In my case, it's already installed, so I can only open it. I have it also here on my sidebar pinned, so I can just immediately go there. So I can just say hi to DataMiner, do the chat bot, and it will say hi back. So it is a friendly bot. Now, first of all, you need to be able to log into the DataMiner system. Let me just log out again and see if I can say something like, if I would say show alarms, it would basically not work, or show alarms. Or so the first thing it will say, like, oh, to continue, you must first log in to the DataMiner Cloud Platform. That's the very first thing you will need to do. Okay, so let me start from the, yeah, it automatically logs in already, but typically you would have need to select your Microsoft account or specify your username and password there to, like, you log into the DataMiner Clouds. There again, like in the interface here, you have on the right hand side your organizations and your DataMiner system. So also in the chatbot, you will need to specify which organization you want to connect to. So I'm going to go to the Skyline Academy. Okay, and within Skyline Academy, I have several systems. I will connect to the demo system and submit that. So now I'm basically connecting to that system, and if I now ask something, it will give me the alarms. If I say show alarms, it will give me the alarms of that specific DataMiner system. So there are about 98 alarms. Let me double check. Training system, it has different user settings or different, there is some grouping maybe done. So there we have some of the alarms indicated here. There are a lot of alarms, but only the 10 most recent ones are being shown here. So here you can have these kind of like cards that you can just move them from left to right to go through them and have a closer look at the alarms. So you can see the alarms, the details about it, the parameter severity. You can immediately open up the elements, etc. as well. If at any point in time you want to get some help, you can say help and you will get some more information on what you can do as actions. But one other action that I can show you, for instance, is show view and then roam. So it will immediately show me then the view roam. Not sure if you remember that view with the satellite receivers there. We have 2 of them in alarm. So it will also show me indeed 2 alarms, show me the alarms. I can just click on the alarms button and then it will give me those specific alarms within that roam view, which is the LMB1 supply on the IRD2, and IRD1 also has an LMB1 supply alarm. So that's how you can send certain actions or do certain interactions. Note I'm now doing a one-on-one, but you can also involve this bot inside a chat that you have with other people. So if I'm in a Teams chat and I'm discussing something with my colleagues, I do have the possibility to involve that chat there and to say like @DataMiner. I want to, then you don't say show alarms, but then you need to say @DataMiner to be able to address DataMiner and then say show alarms. So you can also involve it in other chats with other people and ask DataMiner to add additional information from your DataMiner system in that chat. There is also an extension possible, show commands. There is more information in the docs on how to add additional commands, but I have in my DataMiner system demo 3 commands: the get audio output level, the who am I, and the hello world. So let me check out the get audio output level or output level. And then it says like, oh, for a Philips device, and I have lots of Philips device. Let's just check one. From this Philips device, I want to get the audio output level, and it successfully retrieves the audio output level, which is 18 dBm for that specific selected element there. So this is a custom command that I can add. You can add any kind of command with automation, basically. So we're going to see more about automation later on, but just be aware that there is an extensibility possibility there here to add additional commands to your list of available prompts that are in the DataMiner system by default. Okay. Now that is what I have done so far. Is I've asked information to the DataMiner bot and it was getting that information for me. Now, if you want the bot to automatically send you information, then we're getting into a different area, because here we are just triggering the action itself, you could say. We're asking something and it's reporting back. But if you want the DataMiner bot to be able to send out notifications to you, you need to allow your bot to be communicating with your tenant, with your Microsoft tenant. Therefore, That is all documented in docs. We actually have, and that's quite interesting, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about that. We have on the docs.dataminer.services homepage, we have here some tutorials at the bottom. So if you go to that tutorials section, there you have the ChatOps tutorials. And I will actually take a look at this chat notifications, how to do those notifications. So if you click on there, you will see that there are some more help on the ChatOps and the Teams integration. But the first thing you will need to do here, so we add the app, that's okay. And to add some examples there, but we need to make sure, I'll show you a little bit what this is about. We need to make sure that our Teams integration is enabled in our administration of our organization here. A little bit more administrator oriented, you could say, but just a quick look. So within Skyline Academy, if I go to admin, let's take a look at that. In the overview, we have the chat integration, which is already enabled with the Microsoft tenant ID here. So there is more help on that, how to do that admin consent, because we need to do some consent. Your IT might need to be involved to be able to activate this option. Okay, but once this is activated, you are able to send from that bot notifications to my teams. And I've already configured this because I do have some examples that were installed in the automation scripts that will send the command. That is basically what is it? The package that has been deployed here, the chat integration examples. And let's go back to my DataMiner cube. And then in the correlation engine, I have one rule. We're going to come back to correlation later on in the configurator part. But here I just have the chat notifications example that if I enable that one, it will take a critical alarm from the audio output level there, or not critical, just an audio output alarm, and send that as an notifications script run. So if I do that, and if I go to my chat notifications, and if I generate an alarm on my audio output level, you will see that, let me move that to the left-hand side, you will see that DataMiner sends me a card, and if I click on there, you can see that it opened up here the new card that is being added. That is the chat notifications critical audio output level 18 that has been added here. So this is automatically sending me a card whenever an alarm happens. I've not really done the example now. I just showed you the configured example, but it is basically this tutorial that you can find here, the chat notifications tutorial that I just, it takes about 15 minutes to configure this, but I just showed you the end result. The end result is I just generated an alarm on my Philips device, and it was sending me the card in Teams. So this is just the end result I'm showing. I didn't go through the whole configuration here because this configuration involves a little bit of automation and correlation, which is actually a little bit out of scope of this module. In this module, I just mainly wanted to show you that you can go and add the DataMiner bot there, and the DataMiner bot allows you to communicate and ask things from your DataMiner system while chatting with the bot directly or with some of your colleagues and involve it in there. But I just want to mention that notifications can also be received as little cards coming in. Okay, so with that, I think I'm covered most of the things that I needed to cover. The exercise is just to send out an email. We've done that as well during the exercises already, or during the slides already. So we already did this one. So that was the last slide for this complete DataMiner Fundamentals series. So we had 8 videos on the fundamentals of the fundamental part of DataMiner. It's the basics. We kind of assumed the system was there, and we navigated around a little bit, experienced a little bit how it works to navigate around in elements, the trend graphs, the alarms, dashboards, all of these things. I hope you found it interesting. I think we saw a lot of content already, but I can only encourage you to take it to the next step and also go for the configurator part, where we will also start building a DataMiner system and getting our hands dirty on that part. So I hope I will see you in the next series as well. Take care.